Now, Tom Cruise's relationship with his daughter is in the spotlight also. He decided.
Tom Cruise has it all, except for one thing. And this might be even more significant than his vast fortune, his daughter. And now, that very daughter, Suri Cruise, has spoken up. Suri has chosen the most definitive way to sever the last remaining bond with her father. A decision that almost screams at the world, I am no longer his daughter. What has driven Suri to this point? And now, after everything, is there any chance for father and daughter to reconcile? Or is this door forever shut? A shocking truth is about to be revealed. A story full of twists, hidden secrets, and suppressed emotions from many years ago is slowly coming to light. The Hollywood fairy tale that wasn't Hollywood has always been the birthplace of modern-day fairy tales, where ordinary people can become legends, and where the most beautiful love stories can be celebrated like perfect love songs. And when Tom Cruise, one of the greatest movie stars in the world, openly expressed his feelings for actress Katie Holmes, the whole world believed they were witnessing a fairy tale romance. Their story began like a dream. In 2005, Katie Holmes was a promising young actress. She had built her name through the hit series Dawson's Creek and was highly praised for her pure beauty, radiant smile, and captivating presence. At just 26 years old, Katie once shared in an interview that she had been a crush on Tom Cruise since she was a little girl. Who would have guessed that not long after, she would actually be dating her idol? At this point, Tom Cruise had already become one of the most influential actors on the planet. With blockbuster hits like Top Gun, Mission Impossible, and Jerry Maguire, he was not only a cinematic icon, but also the ideal man for many women. When Tom publicly declared his love for Katie by jumping up on Oprah Winfrey's sofa in excitement, the entire world went wild for them. No one could deny the intense chemistry between them, and Hollywood had gained yet another powerful couple. After a sweet period of dating, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes quickly moved toward marriage. And if anyone thought their romance was already like a fairy tale, their wedding was even more extravagant. On November 18th, 2006, in the majestic setting of Uddiscalchi Castle in Italy, Tom and Katie officially became husband and wife. This was not only one of Hollywood's most famous weddings, but also one of the year's most highly anticipated entertainment events. From Katie glowing in her stunning Giorgio Armani wedding dress, to Tom Cruise's wide smiles, everything was so perfect that people believed they were truly living in a fairy tale. Soon after their wedding, another miracle arrived in their lives: the birth of Suri Cruise in April 2006. From the moment she was born, Suri became one of the most famous babies in the world. Suri Cruise was not just the daughter of one of Hollywood's most powerful actors. She also possessed an adorable appearance with deep blue eyes and soft brown hair. Every time she appeared in public, the media would go wild from her fashionable outfits to her adorable, innocent moments. It seemed as though Suri was born to be a true princess. She had everything a child could dream of: wealth, fame, and the love of her parents. But there was one thing no one expected. Behind the bright lights, this family was not as happy as everyone thought. While the public only saw Tom Cruise with his radiant smile and Katie Holmes being gentle and caring, few knew that cracks were starting to form in their relationship. One of the most speculated reasons was Tom Cruise's religious beliefs. He was a devoted member of the Church of Scientology, and rumors suggested that this caused tension in the marriage. Katie Holmes, who was raised Catholic, seemed to be uncomfortable with this. She began to feel that she was losing her freedom in her own life. Moreover, Tom's busy schedule left them with little time for each other. As Tom immersed himself in major film projects, Katie started feeling lonely. She had once been a promising actress, but after getting married, she appeared less frequently on the big screen. Many believed that the pressures of marriage had caused Katie to abandon her career pursuits. But the most crucial factor remained their daughter, Suri Cruise. From the moment Suri was born, Katie gave her all the love and protection she could. There were reports that Katie didn't want her daughter to grow up in the environment of Scientology. This seemed to become the biggest conflict between her and Tom. Although they still appeared together at public events, rumors about cracks in their marriage grew more frequent. Katie began to seem more distant, and the smiles in front of the cameras were no longer as bright. In the eyes of the public, they remained the perfect couple, but inside they were walking on two separate paths. Katie wanted to protect her daughter from what she felt was unsuitable, while Tom remained steadfast in his beliefs. No one knows the exact moment everything truly fell apart, but one thing is certain: the Hollywood fairy tale marriage was not meant to last forever. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes were once symbols of a fairy tale romance in Hollywood. But like all stories, not every dream has a happy ending. The lavish wedding, the shining spotlight of fame, and even a darling little princess couldn't keep them together forever. Behind those glamorous magazine photos were tears, irreconcilable differences, and ultimately, a painful truth. This was not a fairy tale as everyone had thought, and that was just the beginning of a long story. In June 2012, the entire Hollywood world was shaken when Katie Holmes filed for divorce from Tom Cruise after 6 years of marriage. No one saw this coming, as the couple had long been considered one of the entertainment industry's most romantic icons. From sweet moments on the red carpet, to images of their happy family with their young daughter, Suri Cruise, Tom and Katie seemed to have it all. But then, one summer afternoon, news of the split shattered the illusion of a perfect family. No one could deny that Tom Cruise was one of the world's top stars, not just for his acting talent, but also for his devotion to family. And yet, it was Katie Holmes who took the step to end their marriage. According to close sources, she had carefully and secretly planned the divorce to avoid any pressure from Tom. Unlike the typical Hollywood divorces, Katie did not make their marital issues public. Instead, she proceeded with the separation quickly and decisively. The most surprising aspect of the divorce was that Katie gained full custody of their daughter, Suri Cruise. In celebrity divorces, child custody is often a fiercely contested issue, but in this case, Katie emerged victorious. This was a shocking decision not only for Tom Cruise, but also for the public. Many people wondered, why would a famous father like Tom Cruise agree to let his daughter live solely with her mother? What led Katie to make such a firm decision? Behind the bright smiles on the red carpet, had this family been falling apart for a long time? From that moment on, Suri Cruise officially grew up without the presence of her famous father. Once one of the most famous children in Hollywood, frequently appearing in the tabloids in adorable outfits, Suri gradually faded from the spotlight. As a single mother, Katie Holmes did everything she could to protect her daughter from the attention of the media. She no longer allowed Suri to accompany her to major events and took steps to limit paparazzi photos. Suri's life became more private, with fewer people knowing what she was doing or how she was living. However, one thing was certain: Katie raised Suri in her own way, which was vastly different from the lavish lifestyle Suri had known as the daughter of one of Hollywood's most powerful actors. Gone were the grand parties and luxurious vacations, and Suri experienced a more grounded childhood, focusing on her education and the simple things in life. The absence of Tom Cruise in Suri's life remains a great mystery to the public. While no one can deny his love for his daughter, the fact is that after the divorce, Suri was no longer seen alongside her father. Tom Cruise continued his illustrious film career, starring in a series of blockbuster movies. But whenever asked about his daughter, he would either avoid answering or make vague statements. This left the public wondering, does Tom still care about his daughter? Does he stay in touch with Suri? These questions remain unanswered, but one thing is undeniable. The divorce between Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes completely changed Suri's life. Once a child growing up with both parents by her side, Suri now only had her mother with her. Katie did everything she could to provide her daughter with the most normal life possible, far from the chaos of Hollywood. The breakup between Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes was not only a shock to the public, but also a pivotal moment in Suri's life. While she no longer had her father by her side, she did have a mother who was always there to protect and love her. This was the biggest change, a shock not only to the world, but also to those involved. In Suri's early years, Tom Cruise was a devoted father. The image of him carrying his daughter in his arms, shielding her from the paparazzi's cameras, or holding her hand while strolling down the streets of New York were moments that touched the hearts of the public. Suri Cruise, born in 2006, quickly became one of Hollywood's most famous children. With her thick brown hair, bright eyes, and chic fashion sense from an early age, she always attracted the media's attention. However, since Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes' divorce in 2012, Tom's appearances with his daughter became increasingly rare, and eventually they disappeared altogether. Whereas before, he frequently expressed his love for his daughter in interviews. Now, the name Suri Cruise seemed to be absent from his conversations. This raised a big question. What really happened between the father and daughter? The divorce between Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes rocked Hollywood, not only because of their fame, but also because of the rumors surrounding the reasons behind it. According to several sources, Katie Holmes decided to leave the marriage to protect her daughter from the influence of Scientology, a controversial religion that Tom Cruise is a devoted member of. Scientology is known for its strict and controversial rules. One of the most important principles is disconnect, meaning that if a person leaves Scientology, other members are often asked to sever all contact with them. Some sources claim that because Katie Holmes was no longer a member of Scientology after the divorce, Tom Cruise was forced to distance himself from her as well as from their daughter. Though Tom Cruise has never publicly confirmed or denied this, his absence from Suri's life for more than a decade has led many to speculate. Some believe Tom has kept in touch with his daughter in secret, but no one can be certain. The biggest question Hollywood and the public have is, does Tom Cruise still stay in contact with Suri? In recent years, several sources have reported that Suri Cruise no longer mentions her father, and she has even stopped using the last name Cruise on official documents. Close friends of Katie Holmes revealed that Katie has taken full responsibility for raising Suri without any intervention from Tom. This further fueled the belief that Tom Cruise has indeed become distant from his daughter. However, some entertainment lawyers argue that Tom Cruise still has visitation rights, according to the terms of the divorce agreement. So why hasn't he exercised this right? Is there a reason he cannot or does not want to be a part of his daughter's life? Growing up without the presence of a father can have a significant impact on a child, especially when that father is a top Hollywood superstar. Although Katie Holmes has done her best to provide Suri with a normal life, it's clear that Suri still feels the absence of Tom Cruise. A source close to the family said, Suri has gotten used to not having her father in her life. She has a wonderful life with her mother, but that doesn't mean she doesn't have questions about her father. While there have been many rumors suggesting that Suri may no longer have a relationship with Tom, the truth can only be known by those involved. Katie Holmes has remained silent on the matter, possibly because she doesn't want her daughter to be dragged into the media frenzy. So what will happen in the future? Will Tom Cruise ever return to his daughter's life? Looking at history, there are cases of famous people who became estranged from their children but were able to rebuild their relationships after many years. However, in the case of Tom Cruise and Suri, the estrangement has lasted for over a decade. This raises the question of whether there is still a chance for the father and daughter to reconcile. Some family psychology experts believe that as Suri matures, she may seek answers on her own. When that time comes, Suri will decide if she wants her father back in her life. Despite all the speculation, one thing is certain. Tom Cruise and Suri Cruise have a more complicated story than the public may realize. And whether or not they reunite, the story of the distance between father and daughter will remain one of Hollywood's greatest mysteries. Suri Cruise, the daughter of Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, officially graduated from high school in June 2024. The ceremony took place at the United Palace Theater in Manhattan, New York, with her mother, Katie Holmes, in attendance. Suri appeared radiant in a white dress paired with a red graduation gown, capturing the attention of the public and media. What made this ceremony particularly notable was that when Suri went up to receive her diploma, Her name was announced as Suri Noel instead of Suri Cruz. The decision to use her mother's middle name, Noel, is believed to be Suri's way of honoring her mother. This act also appears to signify that Suri wishes to establish her independence and create her own path, separate from the shadow of her famous father. Tom Cruise's absence from his daughter's graduation ceremony sparked a great deal of controversy. While Suri marked this major life milestone, Tom Cruise was reportedly Swift's Eras Tour in London, UK. The actor's choice led many to question the state of his relationship with his daughter. Since Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes divorced in 2012, Suri has primarily lived with her mother and has had limited contact with her father. The decision to change her last name, coupled with Tom's absence from important events in her life, has fueled speculation about the strained relationship between father and daughter. However, Tom Cruise has continued to fulfill his financial obligations, including setting up a trust fund and covering Suri's educational and living expenses. After graduating from high school, Suri plans to study fashion at Carnegie Mellon University, one of America's most prestigious institutions. Her choice of academic path, along with the decision to change her name, shows that Suri is gradually asserting herself and building an independent life, away from the influence of her father. Suri's actions not only reflect her maturity, but also send a powerful message about self-determination and the independence of young women in modern society. By publicly changing her surname and choosing her own path, she provides a testament to the courage and determination needed to overcome obstacles and pursue one's dreams. Although the relationship between Suri and Tom Cruise may no longer be as close, the support and love from her mother, Katie Holmes, have helped Suri grow strong and confident. Katie has always protected her daughter from the media's scrutiny, while providing her the freedom to develop in her own way. The bond between the two is a testament to the sacred nature of motherhood and the power of love in nurturing and shaping a child's future. Suri's decision to publicly change her last name and pursue her passion for fashion not only marks a turning point in her life, but also serves as an inspiration for many other young people. Suri's story shows that regardless of where one starts, everyone has the right to choose their own path and create the life they desire. In the future, Suri Noel promises to continue reaching new heights in the fashion industry and assert herself as an independent individual, not bound by the fame of her parents. Her journey is a testament to perseverance, bravery, and determination in following one's dreams, no matter the challenges and obstacles. Suri's transformation also raises questions about the role of parents in supporting and accompanying their children on their personal development journey. While Katie Holmes has always been there for her daughter, Tom Cruise's absence during these pivotal moments in Suri's life highlights the importance of both parents' presence and support. The story of Suri Noel is a reminder that whether coming from a famous family or not, everyone has the right and ability to shape their own life. Independence, self-confidence, and determination to follow one's passions are the keys to achieving success and happiness in life. With her mother's support and her own determination, Suri is steadily asserting herself in the fashion industry and building a bright future. Her journey is an inspiration for many young people, encouraging them to boldly pursue their dreams and tirelessly strive to achieve their goals. Suri Noel has proven that, despite challenges and difficulties, with perseverance and determination, anyone can overcome and create the life they wish for. Her story is a testament to the power of independence and confidence in pursuing passions and asserting one's identity. In the context of modern society, Suri's public decision to change her last name and pursue her own path stands as a symbol of progress and young women's right to self-determination. She has shown that whether from a famous family or facing pressure from the media, she can firmly choose her own path. The name change is not just a personal decision, but also a bold declaration of independence. It represents a symbolic step towards breaking free from the overwhelming shadow of Tom Cruise and asserting her own distinct identity. Suri Noel, the new name chosen by Tom Cruise's daughter, is not just a personal decision, but also a bold public statement. From being a little girl, often referred to as Tom Cruise's daughter, Suri is now steadily asserting herself with her own life. However, behind the sensational headlines about her prolonged silence or her public separation from her father, there are many truths few know. Can Suri's actions change the public's perception of Tom Cruise? What are some things the public has never known about this father-daughter relationship? And what shocking truth sparked a media storm? The media has followed Suri's life since the day she was born. Not only is she the daughter of one of the most powerful stars in Hollywood, but she was also the golden child, once pursued by the press, when her parents, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, were still together. However, after the highly publicized divorce in 2012, the story of Suri Cruise gradually became a subject full of mysteries. Suri's decision to sever ties with the Cruise surname has sparked strong reactions in the public. Some people believe this act is a clear sign of complete estrangement between her and her famous father. Others think it is simply a personal choice to build her own identity and not be bound by the enormous shadow of her parents. Regardless, this action has caused the public to reconsider the relationship between Tom Cruise and his daughter in an entirely new light. Before the marriage between Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes ended, Suri was the most cherished child by her parents. The image of the little girl appearing with her parents at public events or in everyday moments always garnered great attention. However, after Katie Holmes won custody of their daughter, Tom Cruise has virtually been absent from Suri's life. Insider sources revealed that the last time the actor publicly appeared with his daughter was in 2013. Many theories have been proposed regarding why Tom Cruise hasn't stayed in touch with his daughter. One of these theories involves Scientology, the religion to which Tom Cruise is a devoted follower. According to the rules of this sect, those who leave Scientology can be cut off, even from family members. Since Katie Holmes is no longer a part of the sect after the divorce, many believe this is why Tom Cruise distanced himself from Suri. However, some sources close to the actor claim that he still cares for his daughter in his own way. One source once shared with the media, Tom never abandoned his responsibilities as a father. He still keeps an eye on Suri from afar and ensures that she has everything she needs. Nevertheless, his absence during important moments of his daughter's life, from her first day at school to her graduation, has made it hard for the public to believe these excuses. Suri's decision to adopt the surname Noel and publicly separate from her father was not the only shock to the public. One of the most controversial revelations recently was the enormous sum of money Tom Cruise left for his daughter in a trust fund. Though he's not been directly present beside Suri, the actor has faithfully fulfilled his financial obligations to his daughter for many years. Alimony, $400,000 per year, from when Suri was a child until she turned 18. Trust fund, set up so Suri can access part of it when she comes of age, and receive the full amount when she turns 30. The amount in this trust fund is said to be in the tens of millions of dollars. Education expenses. Tom Cruise fully covered his daughter's tuition, including the $65,000 per year at Carnegie Mellon University. This information has sparked two opposing viewpoints. One side believes that Tom Cruise remains a responsible father, even though he may not express his affection in the typical manner. The other side believes that money cannot replace the presence of a father in his daughter's life. The truth is, no matter how much Tom Cruise contributes financially, the emotional distance between him and Suri is undeniable. Can the public view Tom Cruise in a different light after everything that has happened? For some, the fact that he has provided financially for his daughter still shows that he has not completely turned his back on her. Given his busy schedule as a Hollywood star, it's possible that Tom Cruise feels the best way to support his daughter is by ensuring she lives a comfortable life. However, for others, his prolonged absence remains a major question. Many believe that, no matter how busy one's career might be, a real father will always find a way to be present for his daughter's most significant moments. Suri Noel has entered adulthood without her father by her side, she has chosen to speak for herself, change her last name to assert her identity, and write her own life story. It's a bold statement, not only to Tom Cruise, but also to the world. Regardless of how the public views Tom Cruise, the truth remains that he has been absent from much of his daughter's childhood. Though there are reasons behind it, it does not change the fact that Suri grew up without her father around. Nonetheless, her journey is an inspiring story of strength, independence, and the ability to rise above the overwhelming shadow of her famous father. Perhaps in the future, Tom Cruise and Suri Noel will have the opportunity to reconnect. Or perhaps Suri will continue her journey alone, without her father's presence. Either way, the story of Suri Noel is no longer just about being Tom Cruise's daughter. It has become the story of a young woman who dares to stand up for herself, to claim her own destiny. Life is a long book, and the story between Tom Cruise and his daughter, Suri Noel, is far from over. After many years of silence, Suri has taken a bold step by making a decisive action. She's dropped the Cruise surname, asserting her identity with a new name. But does this really mean she and her father will have no more connection? Is there a chance to heal this seemingly broken father-daughter relationship, or has the rift become too deep to repair? And more importantly, how will this story affect the image of Tom Cruise, who is still considered one of Hollywood's biggest movie legends? Tom Cruise's prolonged silence for over a decade regarding his daughter has raised questions about their father-daughter bond and made many wonder if reconciliation is still possible. Although no one can predict the future, there are a few possible scenarios that could unfold. 1. Tom Cruise will try to reconnect with his daughter. No one can deny that Tom Cruise is an ambitious and determined person. In his acting career, he always strives for perfection to an extreme level. So what if he applies that same mindset to his personal life? Perhaps, given the current situation, Tom Cruise might realize that it's time to actually make an effort to reconnect with his daughter. After all, Suri is now an adult and may have a different perspective on her father if he takes the initiative to mend their relationship. Some sources close to Tom Cruise have revealed that he still quietly follows his daughter's life from afar. If this is true, reconnecting might not be an impossible dream. The real question, however, is whether Suri is ready to accept a meeting after so many years of separation. Suri will continue her life without her father. Suri Cruise, or now Suri Noel, has grown up without the presence of Tom Cruise by her side. She went through her teenage years without her father at key milestones. She has shaped her own life without needing to be in her father's shadow. Her decision not to use the Cruise surname might be a clear sign that she wants to sever all ties. If this is true, then no matter how much Tom Cruise wants to reconcile, it might already be too late. It is undeniable that for many years, Suri has only had her mother, Katie Holmes, by her side. This may have caused her to no longer feel a lack of affection from her father. If so, continuing her life without Tom Cruise might be a scenario that comes naturally. Third, a surprising reunion, but not immediately. Though the current situation doesn't look promising, if there's one thing we've learned from Hollywood stories, it's that nothing is impossible. There are relationships that seem to be completely broken, but are later healed over time. Suri may need many more years to truly understand the reasons behind her father's absence. She might also change her perspective after gaining more life experience. Tom Cruise, no matter how busy he is, will eventually reach a point where he no longer prioritizes his career. At that moment, he may approach his daughter with a completely different mindset. A late reunion may not erase the lost years, but at least it could be a fresh start. Tom Cruise has built his career around the image of a strong, decisive man who's willing to do anything to achieve his goals. He is a charismatic actor capable of turning any film into a blockbuster. However, when it comes to his personal life, especially his role as a father, his image is not as pristine. The story of Tom Cruise's estrangement from his daughter has become one of the most controversial topics over the years. While many continue to admire his talent, many others are disappointed by his absence in his daughter's life. The truth is, a man can be a legend in his career, but still be seen as an imperfect father. With Suri publicly distancing herself from him, Tom Cruise's image could be affected in the following 3 ways. Impact on personal reputation. Those who have already criticized Tom Cruise for his estrangement from his daughter will have even more reason to view him unfavorably. Impact on movie projects. Even though Tom Cruise is a top actor in Hollywood, personal image always influences one's career. While his movies may not be directly affected, the public will likely perceive him differently. Impact on fan relationships. Some of Tom Cruise's loyal fans may continue to support him despite everything. However, others may feel disappointed and begin to question the true nature of the man. The story between Tom Cruise and his daughter, Suri Noel, is not merely a sensational entertainment news topic. It is a story about family, about father-daughter love, and about what can happen when fame and personal life collide. Right now, it seems that the distance between them is too vast to mend immediately. But time can change everything. Perhaps one day, Tom Cruise will find a way to step back into his daughter's life. Or maybe, Suri will continue on her own path, never looking back.